Now on 767 News, more protest action looms at Public Works Corporation. Stock Farm woman faces cocaine charges and Capuchin Tourism Group receives key to new reception center. Welcome everyone, I'm Alicia George and you're watching 767 News. Join me for the latest stories and developments coming up after this break.
I love family traditions, don't you? The fun you have when you're all together, preparing a meal that you'll all enjoy. Having the right kitchen appliances help bring it all together. And you can find them at Quartz. Appliances that give you more, fridges that keep food fresher, stoves that cook meals better. At Quartz, you get the world's best brands at the best prices. I love that, and you will too. For small and large kitchen appliances, Quartz, bringing value home.
Thanks for joining me on tonight's edition of 767 News. First up this news time. It was made clear on Tuesday, May 19th, that if a Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, between the Board of Directors of the Public Works Corporation and the Dominica Public Service Union, DPSU, is not signed, protest action by the employees will restart on Wednesday, May 20th. That's according to General Secretary of the Dominica Public Service Union, Thomas Later. Protest action over a 2-month delay in salary payment, among other issues, went on for 2 days, May 13th to 14th. However, that was ceased following meetings with the Board of Directors.
Seeing that the government is the major and perhaps the only client of public works, and not paying them on time also creates some problem to them. I mean, so many people do things for government and they are paid on time. In the case of public works, it is not so. So while the minister, for example, will say, look, we are going to give public works some money this week, and we heard that last week, but they have not received it anyway. They have not received it. You give them $300,000, but you're already owing them 5 fortnights. That $300,000 is not even enough to pay the salaries and the wages that you are owing.
Later said when the government does not fulfill its obligation in paying the corporation, it forces employees' debt to increase. He said this recurring issue needs to be resolved.
I believe the same way that one can give money to other places to do certain things, public works people should be given that same treatment.
Later said once the MOU is signed and the Board of Directors fulfill its obligations, the issues at the corporation will be resolved. He noted, however, he is of the view that the board has not convinced the government on the necessary action needed to be taken to move the corporation forward.
What has happened is that Public Works Corporation has come under a lot of criticism, but people, they haven't had anyone to really stand from management and from the board to say, look, this is not so, and we are going through what we are going because of A, B, C, and D. I think that is what the employees are saying. They are saying, look, in spite of all what they're going through, in spite of the hard work, nobody has been out there to really clear their names. Apart from what the union is doing, nobody has been out there to really clear their names on some of the allegations that are being made about them.
Later said the situation at the corporation is unfortunate. The Memorandum of Understanding between the Board of Directors of the Public Works Corporation and the Dominica Public Service Union was originally scheduled to be signed on Tuesday morning. However, the Board of Directors of the PWC contacted Later, informing him of changes to be made to the draft, and has not contacted him since. Moving along, Salisbury residents are crying foul over allegations that the police authorities used expired tear gas to bring an end to a protest on Monday, May 11th. During the protest, villagers were advocating for the government to repair the deplorable roads in their community and access to their farms. On Monday, May 18th, prominent attorney Tiani B. Hansen disclosed to a crowd of Salisbury residents that some of the tear gas canisters used by the police officers were manufactured over 20 years ago. He said tear gas has a shelf life of 5 years and he's concerned about the negative impacts its use may have had on the residents. Parliamentary representative for the Salisbury constituency, Honorable Hector John, said the residents are concerned about their health as the expired tear gas has been alleged to be toxic.
I mean, you have tear gas they were made in November 1988 and May 1990. So these things have been expired for over 20 years, and using that on people and using that in a community. And we have some serious concerns. We're going to have some problems on the road, and we're expecting the government to launch a public inquiry. That is very serious. We need to know the people of Salisbury. We need to know who gave the command to use tear gas against the people of Salisbury, because we were there unarmed. We only came there to demonstrate for our roads. Up to now, we spent 15 hours there and no government minister showed up. We didn't come there for trouble. But what we got were rubber bullets, live ammunition and expired tear gas.
Honorable John is appealing to the relevant authorities to take immediate action amidst this health concern, with a view to ensuring that all who were exposed to the expired tear gas get the appropriate medical attention.
We need to find out, as I said earlier on, who gave the command to fire live ammunitions, rubber bullets and expired tear gas against the people of Salisbury. We need to find out, and we need to find, as a community, we want to thank Attorney at Law Tiani Bianzin for doing such a research using his international friends and connections to ensure that the people of Salisbury get redress. It's a process that has started, and we'll continue to move forward and work diligently to ensure that we get results.
Salisbury resident who was part of the protest, Bertil Vidal, said she is concerned about her health based on the fact that she was exposed to the expired tear gas.
It's because that eyes, if it wasn't Hillary Shillingford, maybe I would blind. Because when he saw me coming down the way, he called me and he told me, T.T. Vinny, and he took his hose with his water and he started to dash all my face.
One resident said he was injured by a tear gas canister shot into the ear by police officers.
We was having a peaceful protest, and then people started like going tear gas on us. As you can see the effect of my head. Some people say sunburn, but since I that young, I've been shaving my head. Never experienced that. It's the tear gas that caused that.
Another Salisbury resident said she was severely affected by the tear gas.
My throat, my eyes, and I had to die for cover because I had to run under my pipe. I drink water. I do how many different things because my foot was really hurting me. So that is how I recover from that tear gas. So I don't know what to do. I have to see a doctor, so I don't know what to do, but I'm in fear for my health.
I inhaled it twice, so I don't have fear for my life. I don't know myself, so I don't know what to do. I wasn't scared, but now I am, knowing what it is now. Now I am scared.
Residents are appealing to the government to ensure they respond to their plea to get the necessary medical attention after being allegedly exposed to expired tear gas. In more stories, in an effort to reduce the number of hypertensive cases in Dominica, the Dominica Diabetes Association, in collaboration with the St. Joseph Health District, held a health and wellness fair in Taru on Friday. The health fair was held as part of the program by the Dominica Diabetes Association called Blood Pressure Control Through Community Action. President of the association, Marvin Birmingham, said they are working together in an effort to decrease hypertension and increase health and wellness in Dominica.
It is a community-based initiative which aims to strengthen civil society organizations like the Diabetes Association to contribute to the prevention, detection, and the control of hypertension. Blood pressure is a major public health challenge in Dominica and one of the leading causes of ill health and death. Therefore, this program that we are launching today is timely and makes blood pressure control our business.
Vice President of the Dominica Diabetes Association, Nurse Rebecca Euseb, said non-communicable diseases such as hypertension pose several disadvantages to patients and the country by extension.
We have the increasing number of diseases, particularly the non-communicable diseases. In particular, we have high blood pressure, diabetes, and the cancers, just to name a few. And these, we know, have serious consequences to individuals, to communities, and to the healthcare system.
During the activity, members of the community were invited to get their blood pressure screenings done, after which they viewed a health exhibition on site. And phase 1 of development activities expected to take place at the Kana Heritage Park in Capuchin is complete and ready for use. On Monday, Honorable Minister for Tourism and Urban Renewal, Senator Robert Tong, cut the ribbon to a newly built tourism reception center as part of projects funded under the 10th European Development Fund EDF Community Tourism Expansion Program, which ended on June 30th, 2014. Technical Officer in the Ministry of Tourism and Urban Renewal, Emmeline Humphreys, elaborated on the phased approach being undertaken for the improvement of the park.
Development of the park has been considered for advancement or enhancement through a phased approach. So the center is actually part of phase 1. Other phases will follow, where the group will undertake to construct washroom facilities, which will also be used by trail users, a restaurant, and other amenities as deemed necessary.
The reception center itself was conceptualized by the Capuchin Tourism Group. Humphreys said early work on the facility began with an American-based Caribbean volunteer expedition group, which helped with planning, development, and technical support for the project.
Development of the park was cited as a means towards maximizing true enterprising potential via community tourism, while contributing to Dominica's ecotourism product. It is expected, therefore, that this center will deliver to many benefits. And some of the benefits, of course, that some of you will guess would be employment creation through the generation of local business for local people. There is benefit through economic returns by way of the revenue that will be derived from those events that are to be hosted here.
The Waitukubuli National Trail will also benefit from the construction of the reception area, as the park is located at the exit point of segment 13 and the starting point of segment 14. The reception center was one of 4 community tourism projects scheduled to be completed in the second quarter of 2014, along with improvements at the freshwater lake, Tatan, and Marigot. Colleen Roberts, National Authorizing Officer for the European Development Fund, said the organization recognizes that community tourism is a key component for the enhancement of Dominica's national tourism product. She therefore encouraged villagers to make use of the EDF's financial contributions and allow Capuchin to stand out as an example of a thriving tourism community.
I would like to throw the challenge now to you, the community members, to make your mark and allow Capuchin to stand out amongst the various communities in which the EU has invested. The financial resources have been provided for the physical facilities, which will facilitate the provision of other services. It is now up to you to use this valuable asset to make this project work towards your full benefit. I personally would like to encourage you to build on this asset and make it sustainable.
A total of 11 villagers from Clifton, Tukari, Tatan, and Capuchin were employed on the $337,676 project. The Kana Heritage Park Reception Center will be used to facilitate various services, including planned entertainment, hosting of conferences and special occasions, and will serve as a dispatch center for tourism activities. The contract for this project was signed on December 12, 2013 by then Ministry of Tourism and Legal Affairs and contractor Alwyn John Baptist. Up next, Stock Farm woman faces cocaine charges. More details when 767 News returns.
Count your Thursdays and win up to $24,000 in cash. For every $9 spent on Big 4, you get a raffle ticket to enter our weekly draws to win $4,000 cash every Thursday for 6 weeks. The more you spend, the more tickets you get, the better your chances of winning every Thursday. That's $24,000 in cash. So play Big 4, count your Thursdays and win up to $24,000 in cash. Only from the Dominica National Lottery. Promotion starts from February 24th to April 2nd.
Welcome back. Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit has said that he wishes to share the same relationship he has with the government of the People's Republic of China with the Chinese private sector. Prime Minister Skerrit at the time was speaking to media representatives of his recent trips overseas and providing updates on established and prospective projects and programs.
We've always maintained that we have excellent relations with the People's Republic of China at the diplomatic and government level. What we need to do, we've been saying and we've been working on this, is to have the same kind of relationship with the Chinese private sector by having them invest in Dominica, because we need those kind of investment, whether it's light manufacturing, whether it is in tourism. We need to see how we can get those Chinese private sector investments to invest in Dominica.
Just last week, a 13-member private sector delegation from the People's Republic of China visited Dominica to look into investment opportunities on island. Prime Minister Skerrit had invited the delegation following a recent trip to the country. The delegation was expected to engage relevant government departments in discussion about the international airport as well as hotel and port development. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Skerrit returned fresh off a trip to Martinique and Guadeloupe in his capacity as OECS chairman and head of government in Dominica, bearing impending good news for Dominica-France relations.
I raised a number of issues with the French president, one of which is the issue of scholarships for Dominican students to study in France, and also the teaching of the French language at our schools. I said to the French president that over the years we have seen a dramatic drop in the level of support which the French Republic gives to OECS countries insofar as the teaching of French is concerned. And I believe that by providing scholarships to Dominican students, and OECS students for that matter, to study in the French departments, to study in the French, in Paris, in France itself, would enhance the relationship which exists between Dominica and France, and of course Dominica and the OECS.
Prime Minister Skerrit also addressed the neighborhood policy of the European Union, which excludes the participation of OECS countries.
They have a policy where they provide support to countries which share a border with Europe to seek to help them to get to the level or close to the level of the economic well-being and social well-being of the European states. And I said to the French president, look, we are in, we're bordering Europe, because from Martinique and Guadeloupe, the OECS, not only Dominica, but the OECS. And we believe that he should push the European Union to have a similar neighborhood policy for us in the OECS.
Prime Minister Skerrit also addressed issues of security, disaster mitigation and climate change, revision of lending rates, particularly as it relates to renewable energy projects, and the removal of countries from the French blacklist. And in other stories, a Sauk Farm woman who has pleaded not guilty to attempting to export cocaine and intend to distribute 572 grams of cocaine on May 12 at Roseau is out on $20,000 bond. 34-year-old Linola Luana Charles appeared before Magistrate Ali Gill on Monday, where the charges were read to her. The cocaine carries an estimated street value of $15,400. The prosecution had no objections to bail being granted, and Charles's mother, Lucina Lafont Charles, stood as her surety. The trial is set for September 21st, 2015. Kondwani Williams represents Charles. In other court news, Shaba Warrington of Gutter Village has until August 31st to pay a $1,000 fine after he pleaded guilty to cultivation of 7 cannabis plants. In default of payment, he will be sentenced to 3 months in prison. That incident occurred on May 13, 2015 at Gutter Village. Chief Magistrate Candid George presided over the matter on Friday, May 15th. And jazz enthusiasts converged at the Champs Hotel in Portsmouth on Sunday for the first in a series of fringe events leading up to the 2015 Jazz and Creole, scheduled to take place on Sunday, May 24th. Tanya Green was there and files this report.
Because I have a queen, I'm not the average girl from a video. I work trying to turn by the best of my clothes. A man I want to wear and outlaw with me, the envy of me.
Well, it was the time to be jazzy, as jazz lovers came from far and wide to mingle with friends and enjoy the performances of two local bands in Dominica, the likes of C-Square and Breathe. The Champs Hotel, overlooking the town of Portsmouth, presented an ideal venue for soothing jazz music on this warm Sunday evening. After 5 years of staging Dominica's Jazz and Creole event, patrons are quickly getting an appreciation for this type of music.
C-Square was, they were wonderful, they were good. They put on a decent performance. You know, they got the crowd involved. They do what they had to do. It was a decent performance, very nice, relaxing, at the same time energetic. It was a good performance by C-Square. I love them.
Those attending Sunday's event didn't just listen, they grabbed the opportunity to jump in and got their jazz groove on. Cornell Phillip and his wife Carlin, who performed under the name C-Square, which is really a softer side of their band, the Fanatic Band, described their performance as whetting the appetites of the patrons. They are convinced that jazz music can be used as another avenue to promote Dominica's culture.
I think it's a great thing for Dominica to not only promote Dominica to the foreigners, you know, but to promote Dominican culture, to express what Dominica has to Dominicans, you know, because a lot of people think that Dominica is about bouillon, zouk, soca, kadas and stuff like that, but we have to open up our young people to jazz music. I mean, I'm really happy that some of the guys from Triple K are here, some of the big DJs like Mystic is here, so you know, you can really see that Dominicans appreciate that kind of music, and I think we need to mold our younger ones in getting them to appreciate music on a whole.
Even the bouillon enthusiasts are optimistic about the future of jazz in Dominica, welcoming this genre of music as a great alternative to bringing people together.
I feel it's something that's growing and a lot of people clinging on to it.
Visitors are also warming up to jazz music in Dominica, dubbing Sunday's event as a great vibe.
I just flew in a day ago from London, so it's fantastic to be here. And great environment, great vibe.
Former general manager of the nation's station DBS Radio, broadcaster Brian Mead, a music enthusiast himself, shared similar sentiments.
Oh, Tanya, what a wonderful experience here this afternoon. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. I love jazz. I'm a jazz lover. And it was nice to come here and see all these wonderful people here, listen to jazz and listen to C-Square. C-Square is the one? Yes, C-Square. And I can't wait now to hear Breathe, because Breathe is my favorite, you know. But it's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful experience this afternoon. And I'm looking forward to the other jazz experiences we're going to have for the rest of the week.
And as the evening set, the soothing music of the Breathe band had all feeling nice and mellow. By all reports, both bands at Sunday's Jazz and Creole Fringe event in Portsmouth delivered a treat, a great appetizer to the main event, slated for the Cabrits on Sunday, May 24. For 767 News, I am Tanya Green reporting.
Thank you, Tanya Green, for that report. 10 years into operations, Petrocaribe has been praised by Honorable Minister of Lands, Housing, Settlements and Water Resource Management, Reginald Ostry, for the contributions the company has made to Dominica. He was speaking during the media launch of the company's 10th anniversary on Monday.
And if you look at the landscape, the economic landscape, the infrastructure landscape, the social landscape of Dominica, you cannot miss Petrocaribe. And we want to start in Soufriere, the city fence wall, where the people from Soufriere, for the last 100 years, were threatened seriously by high seas, especially during the hurricane season. And it was through the efforts of Petrocaribe and Venezuela that we were able to construct the serious city fence wall in Soufriere. You may want to speak to the Tantan city fence wall, right in my constituency, again, an area that was vulnerable, very, very vulnerable, and again we got funding, grant funding at that, from Venezuela to erect the serious city fence wall. You want to recall, at the beginning of the housing revolution, a revolution that has touched the lives of almost every single Dominican. The first $30 million for that project came from Venezuela as grant funding.
Honorable Austri said despite criticism following Dominica's decision to sign onto the Petrocaribe agreement in 2005, the program has withstood the test of time. He said today the Petrocaribe agreement throughout the Caribbean is being hailed as one of the serious economic programs in the last 20 years.
We also have, in terms of the loans, the low interest loans at the Government Housing Loans Board, 4%, and at the Aid Bank, 5%, when traditionally interest mortgage rates were about what? 9–10%. And persons were allowed or able to construct their homes utilizing soft money put at the bank through the Petrocaribe initiative. Just outside of Jimmy, you can recall the eyesore of all the metal waste and scrap metal that was really an eyesore against our landscape. And again, through Petrocaribe, we were able to remove this through grant funding. The Portsmouth metallic cleanup with all those boats that were there since Hurricane David, 1979. Over 8 boats lying on the seashore of Portsmouth, really blanking out the landscape. That has been removed again through the support and the assistance of Petrocaribe.
Minister Austri said Petrocaribe has been making contributions in the area of education, which is evident at the Salibia School. The agreement, he said, also made possible the Rosalie to Pittage Soufriere Road, which many said was impossible. To date, this road is 75% complete and works are ongoing.
To our fishermen, we have been able to do concessionary programs for gasoline and whatever to assist our fishermen while they continue to ply their trade. But just to say to you, that even in terms of the LPG and the assistance to centenarians, where they get free LPG every month, totally free. There were 200 persons in Dominica right now receiving free cylinders of gas from Petrocaribe. These are some of the tremendous work that Petrocaribe has been able to do in Dominica over the last 10 years.
Minister Austri also highlighted that Petrocaribe has been funding numerous social projects in addition to sporting activities and teams. And that's it for local news, so stay tuned.
A test of character, a test of focus, a test of will, a test of resilience, a test of courage.
Dominica, it's on. West Indies versus Australia, June 3rd to 7th at Windsor Park.
Tell them that it's on.
Let's see how easy it is to play Powerball and win. Simply select 4 numbers from 1 to 30 and a Power Pick number from 1 to 5, and that's it. You have just selected your winning numbers for Powerball, or just get a quick pick and let the machine select your lucky numbers for you. Remember, Powerball is drawn every Wednesday and Saturday from 9 p.m. Powerball from the Dominica National Lottery.
That was Larry with the latest in sports. Now for a recap of tonight's headline stories. More protest action looms at Public Works Corporation. Stock Farm woman faces cocaine charges, and Capuchin Tourism Group receives key to new reception center. And that's all the time we have for now. Until tomorrow, drop us an email at media@767news.dm. Friend us on Facebook and be sure to like our 767 News page. From all of us on the 767 News production team, I'm Alicia George, wishing you a wonderful evening, and thanks for watching.